Hello there, I'm John, and as you, I am a Tekken player. I've been playing this game for, well, probably 25 years, and I'm 31 years old. I still remember when my father brought home the first PS1, and I didn't even have a Tekken game at the time. What was included with the console was a nice black disc that was a disc just full of demos, and there were two particular demos that really hit me when I was a child. One was Crash Bandicoot, and the other one was Tekken 2. I still remember you could only play June or Lei Wulong, and I cannot even imagine how many hours I spent on that demo. Since then, I've been a big lover of the series, and I don't believe I actually have played all the instances of the game that have been released. The difference between me and the other people that usually does video content on Tekken is that I'm not a pro player, I'm not a top Tekken god, I'm not a Tekken god Prime or God of Destruction, or nothing like that. I'm just simply like you. I'm someone that bought the game, plays Tekken as his main video game in his free time, and I consider myself quite decent at the game, as I made it Fuji ranks with 2 different characters, and in Tekken 7 as well, I made it into blue ranks as well, up to Yakuza. So what I really wanted to do in this video was more a take of what I think is going wrong really with Tekken 8, and what Bandai can do to fix it actually. I honestly have been seeing a lot of people being very unhappy about the Tekken shop, a lot of people being unhappy about the mechanics of the game, and I honestly don't think that the issue itself is in the mechanics or in the Tekken shop itself. To be honest, it's 2024, microtransactions they're gonna make it in every game, and as long as they are not gonna influence the gameplay itself, making a character stronger or weaker, I honestly don't have a big issue with that. I actually see it as a way for a company to reinvest more money into a game that at the end usually has a lifespan of very long time, but this is a topic for another video. As I just said, I really don't think that the main problem of the game itself is in the mechanics. I honestly think that the hit system is very good, it gave a lot of fresh air into the game and raging moments for everyone. Definitely, the hit system is not perfect yet. The game is still in these early stages. It's been released just about 2 months ago, and yes, a lot of things are unbalanced, a lot of characters are unbalanced, but it was the same for Tekken 7. Most of us didn't get hands on Tekken 7 on release because it's been on arcades for ages before being released on consoles. And if you go to look online on YouTube for some footage of the arcade version of Tekken 8, you will see some very nice Paul doing death combos which still have a lot of potential to use in his combo that probably can just obliterate your life plus an extra half of it. Or just to mention one of my main character, Brian. His H kick was countered launcher. So yeah, Tekken 7 on release had his very large amount of issues, as much as Tekken 8 is having them now. Going back to Tekken 8, what do I think about the hit system? I think the hit system is great. I think the hit system adds a lot to the game, a nice extra layer of depth, but at the same time, I think that their philosophy of going for an aggressive gameplay is being put a little too much into the game. Some of the characters are just too overwhelming, and it becomes very difficult on an average stamp of view to deal with them. And this, in my opinion, result in a very frustrating experience for the average players. So my take on the hit mechanics. I think the hit mechanic is good. I think the hit mechanic is unfair. What do I say is unfair? I've been playing 3 characters so far. Brian Fury, Marshall Law, and Feng Wei. And I've been playing those 3 characters for a long time. These were basically my main 3 characters in Tekken. I've been playing Marshall Law since Tekken 2. Brian Fury, I probably picked him up in Tekken 7, but already in Tekken 3 I loved him. But let's say I've been playing them since Tekken 7, as that's the game where I started to actually become an enthusiast of the game, studying frames, punish, whatever there is behind the characters. These 3 characters I think are a perfect instant to speak about the unbalance and the unfairness of the hit system. Just to specify what I mean as unfairness, the power that the characters get from activating hit is not equally distributed within the Tekken range. There are characters, once they get in it, they become, yes, stronger, some of their main tools become launchers, but apart from that, they don't get that much. And then there are characters like Feng Wei, that when he goes to hit, he becomes a Super Saiyan. That's what I mean as uneven distribution. If you play Brian Fury, you probably notice that once you get in hit, the only real perk that you get is your Snake Eyes doesn't expire. The hit smash you have is not that great, the best thing it gives you is a Ground Blast, but apart from that, I don't think Brian Hit is that great. I still think he's a very solid character. Feng Wei in it, he's already crazy strong, but why the hell he has a back one that is a 10 frame murder weapon on normal hit? Why is that? Why does he have 3+4? That ground pound kick. Why does he have all of that? While his hit smash is probably one of the top 5 in the game. It's crazy long range, super fast, double shoulder that just teleports you to the stratosphere and he wall splats you for a full combo on the wall. That's the problem with the hit system. It's not fair. It's not fair because some of the characters have way more, some of the characters have way less. Some of the characters have just a move that is a bit too much. Devil Jin hit smash, there is no way to deal with it. You just have this constant sphere that is gonna teleport on your face and brutalize you. Again, why is this happening? That shouldn't be so strong. That's probably my main issue with its system. It's not equally spread, it's not equally devised. There are some characters that have way stronger hit modes and characters that they have way weaker hit modes. And I think that's probably what is making the people a bit upset about the game, as it's very frustrating, especially if you try to be loyalist to your character, seeing that there are these big 5s on the top that are just almost impossible to deal with. And to give probably a bit of a better explanation of what is my point of view here, we all love tier lists. We all love the ranking of the characters and see where our main is gonna place. And usually all we know is that tier lists go from D rank to top tier rank, S rank. You know, where S rank is the strongest character, the most complete and everything. In this game, a lot of characters are S ranks, but let's say around 5 characters are probably bullshit rank. These characters that they've just been put on steroids and their strength just reached the moon. Is insane what they can do, is insane how strong they are, and one of those being Feng Wei. I'm gonna be taking him as an instance a lot, as he is one of the characters that I know and that I play, but we could mention Azucena, Dragunov, Reina, Lily. Is just insane how many of those characters is so difficult to deal with. And this is the problem with the game. The game is not fun to play now, because if you play against a top tier character, you're not gonna have fun. You're gonna be thrown into a blender and just guess for your life all the time, and yeah, you make a mistake, drop the controller because it's gonna kill you. And then it's gonna OQ you for another 50-50, and if you fail, you're dead. There is no point in this. That's the big problem. Because tell me if you play a normal tier matchup. I'm not saying a mid tier, I say a normal tier. Some character, like a match between 2 characters that are not this. Let's say Brian versus Jin. The game is great. It's so enjoyable. It's fast, it's crazy, yes. It's still a bit too over the top, it needs some tune down, yes, but in a normal way. The other 5 is what actually is making the game very hard to digest. And the fact the development team didn't have them yet, that's what's wrong, in my opinion, with the game. Because yes, you want to correct behaviors of the move, but that's clear that some of these guys needs tuning down. It's very clear. On the all levels on the fanbase you can get, these guys are too much. If you're beginner, intermediate, high level, pro level, it doesn't look nice, it doesn't feel nice. And the fact, and this is what worries me for real, they declared that for the patch in May, they will focus more on buffing the other characters rather than nerfing the strong ones, is crazy scary for me. Because the last thing we need is more bullshit characters. Because I don't want my Brian to be stronger, I don't want my Low to be stronger. I want my Fang to feel fair when I play him. So what do I expect to come? I honestly expect the patch in May is gonna be big. I understand they didn't want to balance the game as well, because obviously on the game balance, for how much I would like that they will take in consideration the average aspect of the game, they will have to take the competitive scene as well. That's why I think they wanted to wait until May to do the balance patch. May is gonna be after EVO Japan, which is the first Tekken World Tour event. Waiting until then is gonna actually ruin the experience, because what we're gonna see is a bunch of Dragonovs, a couple of Fangs, some Reiners, maybe John Ding is gonna bring Eddie Gordo, but at the same time I don't think it's gonna be a very enjoyable tournament to watch, as these characters are honestly way too much. But at the same time I have hope for the game, obviously. I'm sure that looking at the bigger picture, the game is gonna end up to be in a good stage eventually, especially if we think that the lifespan of this game is gonna be huge. They needed time with Tekken 7, they're gonna need time with this game as well. These games, I understand, are very hard to balance. I'm honestly surprised that they decided to wait for the 4th patch to start to do some balancing about these characters. But this said, I honestly think that the game is great fun, and I've been enjoying a lot of the game and everything. Thank you for listening. If you would like to see more Tekken Talk content or more just general gaming talk content, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!